Currently, right now, the fire is under control. It does not mean it's fully extinguished, but it does mean that it's not spreading anymore. It has been contained to the second floor of the building that was impacted by the fire. There was heavy smoke on the third floor of that building as well. There are a total of 250 employees here at Blue Diamond in the evening. All of them have been evacuated. We have a total of 3 patients who were employees of the factory. They are all suffering from minor complaints. 1 was treated and released. 2 of them have been transported to the hospital for further evaluation. No firefighters have been injured in the course of the firefight. We are very early on in the investigation stage of this fire. We will have no update or information in regards to the cause of this fire anytime soon. There are investigators on scene. I will take any questions right now.
Were there employees working at that area at the time the fire broke out?
I don't have that information.
I know this is an older building, like 1910. Did that have anything at all to do with the fact that it spread so quickly?
We have no report as to how fast the fire spread or to the cause of it or anything in that regards.
This happened on the factory floor. You said there's no way that anyone else could have gotten in. It was in a contained area. You had to have secure access to get through this area.
As far as I know, this is a very secure site. You have to have security clearance to get on the property here. We have no reports of any suspicious activity at this time.
What kind of equipment is found in that building?
I don't have that information either. I just know that is, I had asked, is it a part, they have office buildings here, and they said no, it is part of their factory.
Someone said they are hearing on the scanner about high-pressure gas cylinders.
I can't speak to what if they do have high pressure gas cylinders on site, which I imagine a big factory like this has all kinds of chemical equipment and things that could be determined to be a hazmat or another source of ignition for a fire. All of that has been controlled and either shut down or made sure to be safe. We have no issue right now with any sort of gas. Again, this fire is under control, and my last report I had is mostly extinguished.
So everyone who should be on campus has been accounted for?
That is correct.
The 2 patients who were transported to the hospital, can you talk to us a little bit more about their injuries? Any specifics?
It sounds at this time, I don't have real specifics, but it sounds like it's more smoke inhalation type of injuries.
Is this, do you know the time of the shift? This third shift at the beginning of the shift? Or?
Yeah, I can't speak to their schedules. I was just told by their staff that they have a total of 250 on site during the evening.
Do you have any idea as to how long you may be here? How long the police may be here?
Usually my experience on the department with a large incident like this, Sacramento Fire will have a contingency out here for several hours, if not till early morning.
You said 4 alarm means 115?
About 112, I believe, was what I was told.
And all SAC Fire and the other agencies?
We're getting mutual aid from West Sacramento Fire Department and Sac Metropolitan Fire Department. Elk Grove might be here as well. If they're not, I can guarantee they're covering a firehouse within the city limits at this time.
Their website says that there was an expansion of the building in, like, I think 1995. Do you know if this was in an older section of the building or if this was in a newer part where there was...
Yeah, I don't have that information.
The factory.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the age of any of the buildings on site.
But he's saying that it did start on a factory.
Oh, yes, it was part of the factory. I'm sorry. Yes, Joe.
Can you talk to us about water supply issues, standpipes, any issues?
In a building like this, standpipes are always an issue because they're become an issue because you have to locate them. And then we have to make sure that we have water going to those standpipes. Are they a wet system, meaning there's water already present that we can utilize right away, or do we need to tap into another water source and then put water in those water pipes? I can tell you that operationally, there was an issue because of the location of this fire for us to get hose lines in there. It takes time. It's not that it's difficult, it just takes time. So for them to get the hose lines in place and apply water to this fire took some time, but again, they moved fast on this. They controlled the fire as fast as they could, and with 250 workers and only a couple with minor smoke inhalation, right now we're considering this a very successful operation.
We're good?
We good?
All right.
Thanks, you
Thanks,
guys.
sir.
Appreciate it.
Okay, did you get it?
Yes, thanks.
All
I
right.
really
No
appreciate it.
problem. Okay.
I think
Okay, sounds good. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for waiting. Yes, this is the retail store. What's happened to employees? William, I see your question here. Great question. The good news is all the employees are accounted for. We are told that there were 250 employees on the shift at the time that the fire broke out around 9:30, and all of them are accounted for. 3 people had injuries, but that's unfortunate, but none of them were burns. 1 person was treated and released. The other 2 people were taken to the hospital with injuries consistent with smoke inhalation. You can probably kind of see in here earlier anyhow, there were employees that had been evacuated and brought to the gift shop. So the gift shop is safe. That is where they've been asking us, members of the media, to stand. I have to get in place here for the live shot, so I will
turn this way so that you avoid the wind.
Okay.
So
I'm going to stand here. We kind of rushed it. We are Step to my right? Okay. The nature of breaking news, of course, is such that you're sort of, I didn't have all the equipment with me, so this is my IFB here right now. This is what I would be listening to my producers on. I have to give them a call here shortly, but I do want to let you know we're here on the scene of the Blue Diamond Almond Plant. Firefighters, SAC Fire, they're responding to an alarm, a 4-alarm, they told us, fire. So there's about 115 firefighters on scene. 250 members of the Blue Diamond staff were on scene at the time the fire broke out. They are all accounted for, which is good news. Only 3 people were injured. Hard time hearing me? Yeah, I'm sorry, Susan. I'm probably having to hold the phone a little bit farther away from me. I'm going to pause for I'm going to keep the live stream rolling, but I have to call in to the show. So give me 1 second here. Bear with me. Thanks for your patience, guys.
you can put it right here.
Okay, good. I got it.
And you just stand there.
Um,
Right? Right to your right.
To my right?
A little more.
A little more? Hi, IFB, please. Which one do you want me to call in on? No, I don't know if I have that. Can you give me the phone number? That would be more helpful. That would be ideal. Thank you. All right, bye.
We're going to have to bring this in here just to avoid all that wind. When you start talking, just try not to move back and forth a lot.
Sounds good.
Okay.
You good? I'm going to keep my feet Can you hand me my phone? Thank you. I'm going to make sure. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? I am talking into the microphone right now. Hopefully you should be able to hear me. I'm going to keep talking until you... Great. Okay, yep.
They hear you very clear.
Can you hear me nice and clear, Rachel? Is everything okay? Do I sound muffled? All right. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. And there will obviously be a slight delay with the TVU. What, Brandy? Sure.
How you do that? I have to look at you doing your live.
Irmita, we are here at the, it's a little bit muffled. Let's see if they can hear me. We're here at the Blue Diamond Almond Plant. I'm getting ready for a live shot. So thanks if you've been with me for a little bit. You've been putting up with my phone, getting set down. I want to tell you that people are all accounted for here. There were the Blue Diamond Almond Plant. It's 1800 block, 1800 C Street here in North Sacramento. Yeah, it's probably muffled because the signal might be going in and out. But essentially, 250 people we learned from the Sacramento Fire spokesperson Yeah, sorry if I'm a little muffled. I think it just might be the service here. It's going to come in and out. But 250 people were on the shift when the fire broke out around 9:30. They are all accounted for. 3 people were treated for injuries. 1 was treated and released. 2 have been taken to the hospital. But the silver lining is it's not burn injuries. These are consistent with smoke inhalation. Everybody else who was working, of 250 people, they are safe. They've been evacuated. We're standing here outside of the nut and gift shop. Maybe some of you have been here before, visited here, taken family here when they've come into town. This is where the public generally goes when they visit Blue Diamond here in Sacramento. Yeah. There are about 150 firefighters here on scene, mostly from Sacramento Fire Department, but also from West Sac and Metro. Elk Grove might be showing up here too. This is a fire that started on the factory floor, so it was not offices. We saw people evacuated from the other buildings on the campus here, again brought here outside of, or into the nut. Sorry, 1 second here. What, Randy? Step to my right, yep. Thanks for bearing with me. We are, okay, about 2 minutes up for my live shot, so if I have to pause you guys here, you can tune in on ABC. Our Late News Tonight newscast is about to start up, so I am going to have to put you down at some point here. Does anyone have any questions? I know I've been going over the facts, but some people are just joining us. I'm looking through the comments. Sac Fire says they will probably be out here through the early morning hours. This is they have it contained, which is the good news. So any source of fuel for this fire has been. Sorry, I'm reading these comments, just seeing if there's any questions here. Any fuel if there's been any fuel, they weren't able to say what the cause was. They said they won't have it ready for a while. But any fuel that has been feeding this fire has been turned off or removed. That's what they mean when they say it's contained. So this fire isn't going to get any larger. They said they had some trouble getting to the scene of the fire. I'm seeing one of you commenting, one of you who was identified as a Blue Diamond employee who was there earlier in the day. We're 1 minute out from going live. And you're saying that the folks there were with a swing shift, 3:30 to midnight. Okay. Thanks for... Someone asked earlier that they heard on the scanner about high-pressure gas cylinders. So I did ask the fire spokesperson about that. He said that they don't yet know the source. They will have that for a while. So I have to put you guys down. We're about to go live. I'm going to hand you off to my colleague, Randy. There you go.
Look up straight really quick so I can make sure.
Chris and Madison, I'm about a block and a half. We're staged. This is the safe distance. So the fire is happening about a block away from us, maybe half a block away from us. Now, we want to tell you those 2 people who are in the hospital, Chris, like you mentioned, the fire department did say that it was not burn injuries. These people were taken to the hospital with injuries consistent with smoke inhalation. There was one other person who did complain of injuries. That person was treated and released. So of the 250 people who were working the shift at the time the fire broke out, 3 people injured, 2 still in the hospital with smoke inhalation injuries. Again, we saw people evacuated here to the gift shop here. What we also want to tell you is that they don't know yet the cause of the fire, and they said that probably won't be available for quite a long time. We asked about things that were heard on the scanner, but they said that this is a situation where until they get in there and they put out the flames, they're not going to know what the exact cause was. But as we said, this did happen on the factory floor, not offices. This was in a secure place. where someone who is not from the building, so for example, this is not someone who would have come in. The fire department said that they didn't have any reports of suspicious activity. They said that this is something where they will not know the cause for quite some time. We do know that, again, there are people who are evacuated. In fact, I see them right over here in the gift shop. This is where they were evacuated to. They're sort of congregating there. I see people with the hair nets on, people who are clearly pulled from the factory floor. Are we able to take the camera off the tripod and see this? Sorry, we're on the tripod here, but we'd love to be able to show you what it looks like inside. I'm seeing a number of people with hard hats, with the safety vests on. This is where people were evacuated to. The factory, the fire department told us that they had some trouble getting to the location of the fire at first because of where it was in the building, but the good news is that the fire is now contained. That means that any fuel that was feeding the fire, and again, they don't know what it is, whether it was gas or whether it was some substance or building material, they don't know what it is, but they said that the fire is contained, so anything that was feeding it has now been under control. They do anticipate being here through the early morning hours. Firefighters on scene from the Sacramento Fire Department, from Metro, and from West Sacramento, all responding. About 150 firefighters. And again, the final word I want to leave you with here as we continue to cover this is that 250 people were on this shift. 3 people were injured, but all of those injuries, as the fire department told us, were minor and consistent with smoke inhalation. Chris and Madison, I'll send it back to you. Yeah, absolutely. Chris, right now, as you said, this is a very important employer for the area, for the region, for the state. I can tell you that, they are still congregated down very much so where the fire is happening. The fire department said that Elk Grove may be still coming to the scene to help out. And he said if Elk Grove isn't here on the scene, they're certainly covering other firehouses in Sacramento to make sure that other parts of the city are covered. Well, most of the crews are responding here. But if you, I don't know if we can pan over, but all up and down C Street, there are dozens, I would say, dozens of engines that have responded. So this is an all hands on deck type scenario when, as you said, Chris, an employer as important as Blue Diamond calls for help when it has a fire in the middle of its shift like this. I think they're going to come back to us later in the show. Okay. So she said, stand by for further instruction.
I didn't know you were going to reference this.
What?
I didn't know you were going to reference that.
I didn't either. Rachel was saying, can we see it? And so, yeah, thanks for jumping on that.
I have to jump on the ISO. So
I know. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Your phone's still rolling live.
Okay.
Cool. I guess, did they tell you a time so that I can save power on the light?
Save power on the light. Yeah, let's do it.